Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon. Hey, everybody, let me see what's going on here. It's just doing whatever it wants to do. So let's just...
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you, and I think you'll have to listen, because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be as bright as the sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give, something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now I know. Baby, baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give, something's telling me it's right. When you came to me, oh I knew it's you, yeah, boy.
Hey, family. Hey, how's everybody doing? Let me back up a little bit. You guys, I don't know what's going on. I've been working on some stuff, but anyway, yeah, there was 3 boys school bus shooting. I seen that. 3 boys tried to shoot and kill middle school students on a school bus in Maryland today. 3 boys, 22 hours ago, and they're African American. 3 boys tried to shoot and kill middle school students on a school bus in Maryland. And you can see they have a video of the boys coming down the school bus thing. It's crazy. I'm going to talk about the California City boys, but I want to hear what they got to say about this real quick. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Here it is. It's playing in my, hold on. Cut this off. Here we go.
Georgia County Police have released photos of 3 very young suspects who they say forced their way right into a school bus Monday to try and kill a middle schooler.
That gun jammed, though, police said, and then the boys ran. So tonight there's a lookout for those boys and a whole lot of fear. Scott Broom is in Oxon Hill, where this happened on Monday, to tell us.
This happened on Monday, and they're just now talking about it on Friday? Really?
We have Prince George's County Police at this intersection here to protect kids as they get off school.
They say 22 hours ago.
The incident we're talking about happened Monday as a school bus pulled up here at Sutler Drive and Iverson Street, and that's when these 3 kids pushed their way on board with a pistol in hand.
Oh my goodness.
Prince George's County Police here to protect kids as they get off the bus, as pictures of 3 juveniles were released by authorities. The boys boarding that school bus Monday and pushing past the bus driver and an aide on board. One juvenile carrying a semi-automatic pistol. According to police, the gunman put the gun to the chest of a middle schooler and repeatedly tried to shoot, but the gun was jammed. So the gunman used it to beat the victim, who survived with cuts and bruises. Police say the attackers then ran. This grandmother of middle schoolers said she lives in the neighborhood.
I'm just not understanding how these kids get guns and stuff.
Do you fear for these children?
I fear for the kids and us as well. Because what if a dad would have stepped in and tried to stop it and the gun didn't jam?
Both the bus driver and the aide on board during the incident are so terrorized they've taken leave, according to fellow driver Martin Diggs, who's president of the union local representing drivers.
But they're afraid to come out of the house because the suspects that got on the bus, their faces were covered. So they don't know who these people are. This particular issue that happened on the school bus is one incident of many incidents.
Diggs said school employees are constantly threatened with injury because of an epidemic of fighting on buses and in schools. Diggs said the student who was targeted attended the non-traditional middle school program at Edgar Allan Poe School in Suitland. Diggs noted the school system has cameras in the majority of its bus fleet.
That's all I needed to know.
It's too late.
Who they say it's too late.
Boy, you can see how that was a traumatic situation for everybody, from the adults on the bus to the school to the middle schoolers. Just awful. By the way, Prince George's County schools issued a statement saying that administrators are horrified by the incident, but they are grateful that no lives were lost. They say they will not talk any further because an investigation is underway.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, you guys. We're froze again. We're froze on YouTube. You guys, oh my goodness, we're froze. They love to do this. Anytime we talk about the California City boys, they freezes us, and that's fine. I don't mind. You guys don't need to see me, no way, because I was out doing yard work. So let's just keep it real. I can probably get back on there, but I'm not gonna do it. I ain't even gonna think about it. It doesn't really bother me. It might bother somebody who's all, envy of themselves and like to look at themselves, but I don't. People are looking at me on precaution, and that's good. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about what's going on the California City Boys court case, and let's talk again what was new. So we got some more information, and this is what this is all about. If anybody come with any pre-ignition about how this happened, we can only speculate, and that's fine speculating. But as the court case is going on, you guys, let me explain to you something. There's no need to get all in your feelings. It is a sad case. It's a very sad case. It's nothing sadder about talking about 2 kids that are still missing. I wanted to believe that they're just missing and maybe they're somewhere else, and having that hopeful thinking. It could be wrong, but it was still hopeful thinking. But now listening to that older boy testimony, how he, came up with, the information that he had, even though he was 8 or 9 at the time, he cannot make stuff up like that. Saying that the family, Jacqueline and Trezell, his mama and daddy told him to keep the secret and don't tell nobody else. He didn't make that up. Saying that, he knew that the baby was already dead. He said dead. But in the new information, and people are calling me and asking me what was said, what was going on. They did not have court today. And they usually, like last Friday, they didn't have court. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing. Take a break. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They say when they come back on Monday, they're going to end with whatever they have to do. Jacqueline's attorney will come out with her opening statement. The reason why she did not have an opening statement at the beginning, she could have at any time say, I want to have my opening statement. So now that the prosecutors have rested, they're going to rest on Monday, then you'll hear Jacqueline's attorney come out with the opening statement. And after you hear her opening statement, then the defense, which is Jacqueline's attorney and Trezell's attorney, come out with their witnesses, which will probably be everybody you just heard and seen, but they will ask them questions to make it look very nice for Jacqueline and Trezell. We know, we all know that. I'm just giving you the play-by-play what's going to happen. And then after that, then when the defense rests this time, guess what? They'll read the rules to the jurors how to go in and deliberate on this case. After they deliberate, they will come out and give their answer. Somebody will be chosen to speak for all of them, saying, hey, this is the results. We all in agreement, or we all not in agreement. When you have 12, you may not have. We got 59 people up in the building right now, and we all not going to agree on something. But one thing we can agree on, those kids are still missing. They're gone. Jacqueline has lied. When they were in court, they played an interview of what Jacqueline was saying. They asked her, okay, so we do know that Wanda did pay for the U-Haul on September the 19th. And so on the 20th, you guys had to take it back. Okay, so if Wanda spent the night at you guys' house to watch the kids while you and Trezell moved, where was the kids? Okay, the kids was, all 4 kids was with Wanda at the house in Cal City. Well, where was Orrin and Orson? Orrin and Orson was supposed to be at her mama's house. Remember, Mama Marie says she ain't seen them kids. She don't know nothing about them kids. She been saying that. She said it day one. She's continuing saying. And then Wanda West, Miss Grandma Wanda West says when she got in the car to go over to their house and they had a problem with gas, she said, oh, take me to the bank. She gonna say she did not see them kids. They said, why you didn't see them kids? She says, well, I sat in the front seat, which was the truth, and there's 3 seats. There's 3 rows. So she sat in the front seat. Then Jackie must have sat in the second seat and said the kids was in the back seat sleep. Okay. Okay. You being the grandma. So some people, they get angry and they be like, oh, why you on Jackie? You know, why you on Grandma West? She telling the truth. Okay. You know, and I get it. I only talk to certain people and I get it. So they may feel like I'm picking on them, and I'm not picking on them. I'm not picking on them. But, and I do understand, some of us are grandmas, and no matter what, you know, your kid could be wrong. You will protect your kid. It's not going to be anything different for anybody else. We got that. We understand that. But don't act like you don't know. You knew. And yeah, you're going to lie because you don't want to go to jail. How's she going to go to jail? She didn't do anything. When you go to jail, when you lie to the federal police, when you lie to the FBI, if they find out that you're lying, you can go to jail, because that is especially getting up on top on that stand and you lie there, then you contempt the court. Well, they can't prove that she's lying, because who's going to sit there and say, oh, you knew? What you mean you knew? Jackie ain't going to say it. Trezelle ain't going to say it. So she could say exactly what she wants. I didn't know this. I didn't know that. I ain't seen the kid. You know what? She really basically threw them kids underneath the bus, even her own son, when she said she ain't seen them kids since February. She basically like, don't even put me into this. And if you want me to get your kids, you better not put me into this, because y'all into this. Y'all did something. But here's the thing. Let's talk about this. So the kid, one of the interviews, they said that Aiden turns around and say that the kids get hit and whooped with they get whooped with a belt, but they get whooped until there's blood. That's what he said. So she said, blood? He said, yeah, blood on their butt. And then she says, what he whooping with? And she said, the metal. And so she wanted to know more information about this metal. And the kid says, on the belt. So she now knows it's the belt buckle. And so she asks him, do you get whoopings like that? And he says, no. He says, no, me and Andrew and Aiden and Andrian. Aiden and Andrian. Both of them names starts with A. I know Aiden and Adrian. Sorry. And that's weird for me not to even almost can pronounce the name, because my grandson's name is Adrian, but his name is Adrian. So he tells her, no, we don't get whoopings like that. She said, you don't get whooping? He says, no, only Damien, Devin, and Orson get whooped like that. Now, just remember, the kid also said, the one kid, Damien and Devin, said, I know that's not my room because they got a whole bunch of toys. They got a whole bunch of stuff. So not only they get more stuff, they don't get whoopings like the other ones get. And these kids knew that they were being treated differently. They probably didn't know why. And when you have kids that's in the system, check it out. It seems you may not think those kids understand what's going on. They may not know the word adopted, foster kids, things of that nature, but they know when they're being treated differently. And that's why you can never bring something for one child and not the other children. But also what was said, Jackie said that they asked her, what kind of presents was you wrapping? And she said, there's some coloring, some paint and stuff, and then some robes. And she says, oh yeah, actually, Wanda bought the robes. But remember, Wanda said she only bought 4 robes. She didn't get to buy 2. And she said the reason why she bought the 4 is because she couldn't find the size. Okay. Even if that's true, you bought mama a robe, you bought your son a robe, and the 4 boys a robe. And you saying the reason why you didn't buy 8 robes, you only bought 6, is because they wasn't in a size. Okay. But you gave the money to your son or Jackie or Lynn, whatever you want to call her, and she could have went and got these kids a robe. They got these robes at Dollar Tree. They got robes at these kids would have accepted anything. She also threw TT, a cousin or relative of Ryan, saying that she had gave authorization to TT, a cousin or relative of Ryan's, knowing that that was part of Ryan's family, the okay to come pick up the kids because it was back in July for somewhere around their birthday. And she wanted to have the kids spend some time with the family. So that was okay for a couple of days. But TT did not bring the kids back in those couple of days. She kept them kids a whole week. So TT knew where they lived in Bakersfield. So, but she said, but she brought them back. That's what she says. I think the reason why she said that is because if they went and looked to see where TT was at, TT probably had a good alibi. So then, you know, when you're trying to throw people underneath the bus, you got to know where they at or where they been or what's going on, or was they at your house and nobody knew or something. You throw somebody underneath the bus, they may have a good alibi, allegedly. Okay. And we got a super chat. I couldn't see it over here on the YouTube channel, but I'm looking at it right here. Misty Blue, SP, I miss you in the Warriors, here for the West Boys. Oh, she's here for the West Boy. All right, Misty, I see you in the building now. I was looking at something else, but now I see you. Thank you for the super chat, Misty Blue. I will make sure I got 2. You won't be able to see the numbers, but I'll have 2 tickets. I'll tell you what your numbers is right now. It's 613-205. I'll let the people on Petition see them because you can't see it. And I'm not even going to try to play with that camera again. It's just, it really only happens when we on this case, you guys. I believe somebody be doing some stuff because let's see. But thank you for the super chat. All right, we was playing a thank you, Misty Blue, for the super chat. We also went out today and bought some gift cards. So we're already getting ready for our 4th of July. Those tickets, everything that comes in the super chat is going to be $5. Get a ticket. If you do the Cash App, you get an extra ticket every time you buy or whatever. But you can, it says buy your own super chat. What's that? I don't know. Wanda knew and should be charged for covering up for her son. Okay. Anywho, I'm trying to look at some comments here. But that's what was said. And so yeah, I gave my opinion and I stand on that. Okay, yes. SP, try it. It might have got fixed. It probably did, but I'm not gonna too much worry about it because I want to end because I got something to share with you guys. And thank you, Lisa Taylor, Purple D, and Lisa Calhoun for the musical notes, the maracas and the musical notes on Picosha. We much appreciate it. It keeps us going over there. My daughter was trying to get our TikTok back up. I don't know. Everything crashed. Anyway, I seen your super chat. You good? Oh, Freddie says that. Okay. If I miss something, you guys going to have to let me know because things happens when we I'll try to go down and see what I can see. Oh, Margie. Oh, I see you, Margie. I had to go up a little bit. It did not let me see that, Margie. So Freddie wouldn't have said nothing. I wouldn't even seen it. Margie's in the building. Okay, Margie, I see you. I see you, friend. I see you right there. I got 4 for you right here. I see you. Margie be getting down. There you go, Margie. Thank you for the soup. All right. Thank you. That was from Miss Margie. Okay. So, Margie, your number is 613-207 twice and 613-206 twice. Okay. So, yeah. And I think I don't know. Yeah, Freddie, I got you on there because you did a cash app. So I got you. So I appreciate you, Margie, and I appreciate you, Misty Blue, coming in here, doing what you do. So if anybody got anything that they want to talk about, let me know, because, hey, you know, there was a lot being said, and lies are harder to remember. They were asking her, so what did you guys do with the kids? And she was like, I don't know. Her attorney, she was sitting there, actually, when they were interviewing her, she was sitting there with her attorney. Some people thought that they were in court, and she got on the stand, and I had to tell them, no, they wasn't in court. That was a recording that you was listening to of an interview that happened way back in 2020. So if you thought that that was something we were missing, that Jackie was being interviewed or she was doing on the stand, she was not on the stand, you guys. That was a court interview. That was an interview after the situation had happened. Okay. So let me go in here and find something. If I remember correctly, that was what her and her son Jamal Watkins said. Exactly. Don't forget PS20 in the comment section Monday. Let me see if I had anything for PS. You told me don't forget, and it's not on here. So I got PS. Oh, because I got PS on here for 10. Did I not give her all what she was supposed to get? Is she supposed to get 10 more, or is she supposed to get 2 more tickets? Let me know, Freddie. Because I see she got 2 tickets over here. I haven't even threw them in the bucket yet. So, exactly. Jamal knew, in my honest opinion. Yeah, I think they did, but I thought they were going to call Jamal to the stand. Thank you, Lisa Calhoun, for the musical notes. 20. Okay. All right. I get PS. And PS. So I've got 4 tickets for her. The numbers is going to be a little different. 613-209, 2 times 613-208. So she's got 4 tickets, and people on Precocious sees it. So that's what it is. All right. It's terrible what they did. You know what? Some people ask me why we don't normally talk about the real harsh stuff, because we now, you know, we know that it is sad. I don't want to talk about the baby bottle and them smashing up the food, because, you know, I don't want to be in a bad mood all day long because we're going to think about it. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather talk about the characteristics of the people that are, and that's just something Now, if you guys want to talk about the baby food, and because I don't know how they died. Now there's another thing there. It could have been poison in the baby food, and that's why she was so angry, because I couldn't understand why she was mixing up this baby food and giving 4 or 5 year olds that don't have a trach or don't have a problem eating because they won't close their mouth. They're going to make them eat out of a baby bottle in front of all the other kids. I mean, if you really understood that, it could be that the humiliation that they're doing, taunting. Once you humiliate people back, I mean, you just deliberately every day making them eat their food from a bottle in front of the other kids, it wears a person down. And you definitely not helping them if they are slow or delayed or have a learning disability. You're not helping the way that you handle that. These people, you guys, like I know, should not ever had custody of these kids. 4 with no job. Come on. They gave the other kids, their biological kids, more this and more that and more this and more. If anything, when I had kids, I had my kids, and I tell people all the time, and adopted a kid, my kids would be like, Mama, you treat her better. And I felt like I had to basically sometimes more than likely treat her better, so she would never have to say, because one day she was going to learn that she was adopted. She could say, well, you bought them new clothes and you didn't buy me new clothes. You bought them shoes. You didn't buy me shoes. They had all the toys and I didn't have no toys. They had birthday parties. I never had birthday party. So if one had a birthday party, all of them get a birthday party. If I spent thousands on one birthday party, all my kids had thousands, not $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 birthday party at least once in their life. I said I wanted to do it once in their life because I wanted to make sure that out of your whole entire life, you had one day that you were the queen or the king of the day. You had all the toys, you had the pony rides, you had the museum things come out to give people rides and things of that nature, because they'll set up at your house in your driveway and stuff. You had throwing darts, you had the music going, you had pizza, you had all you could eat, all you can drink, and you had the best party. Then you was chauffeured around with limousines and people catering to you on that day. Every last one of my kids had a day or two. I did it at least twice. The only reason why I didn't do it twice on my youngest baby is because her father, she ended up going, sending her to her father because she was uncontrollable at a particular time in her life. And it was too risky to try to get her to calm down. She just wasn't listening. So I needed a man figure to explain to her the things that she should do and the things that she should not do, And she only still had 2 more years anyway. She could stay here as long as she wanted, but I have to get her back on right track or she was going to end up with a baby at a young age. Any mother understands those things. My daughter ended up with a baby at a young age, and it just takes away from their childhood life. Trying to raise a kid and you're young, making mistakes and things, you still got to work. That's why it's never good ideal to adopt when you're single. It's never good to adopt if you have other children. It's not a good idea. It's best for people who can't have kids to adopt. Okay? We live and we learn and we grow and we move on. We keep moving on. Nothing should stop you. Okay? You have to have a big heart and pockets to help to adopt. Yes, you do. You do. You got to be selfless. Cannot think about yourself when you need these kids. Do you think those babies were in an ice cooler that was mentioned? Could. I believe Jackie and Trezell is going to be found guilty. I believe they are. Even in one of those interviews, the police officer that was interviewing Jackie told her why was she smiling? Was nothing funny about these kids missing. And it was heard on that video. Those jurors is going to be, I bet you if we was in the courtroom and we could see Jackie's face when they said that right there was enough to make the jurors not like her. Because you treated your kids, this is out of your own kids' mouth and the other foster kids' mouth, that you did not treat these kids the same, equally. And even as a mother, a young mother, you were not even adequately being a mother. You probably had not being a good mother because your mother was probably not a good mother, considering that she does not come and see the grandchildren of her daughter. When you have a daughter, you know that child is your grandchild. When you have a son, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Most of the time, you just say, hey, okay, if it's your son, you don't really know unless you get a DNA test thing. But when it's your daughter that has the child, you know that child is your biological child, biological grandchild. You know this. For this mother not to be really involved in her grandchildren's life, but she's adopting other kids. This is what Marie said. She said her daughter got to take care of them kids. That's what she said. She said, I didn't be seeing them kids. She didn't even know their name. She didn't want to know their name. She said she couldn't pronounce the name because, they're Spanish. I'm going to tell you guys something, and I'm not going to be cruel about it. I'm just telling you. I see it all the time. I see it everywhere I go. Because right now in the United States, if you don't know that Spanish descent is more than the African descent now. African American. Because they have a lot of kids and everything, and we done stopped having kids because we can't take care of them, and you're not going to get that check and stuff. So now the Spanish have more people in the United States than the African Americans, and we've been over here loner, more, doing more work and all this other stuff. But the thing about it is they have their own language. And so sometimes they play the system because they can't speak English. Okay. And it's okay. But I guarantee you, Marie, she understands. She understands way more. Just like Jackie can speak English and Spanish, Marie been around a long time. And it's good that you have Spanish people that's adopting Spanish children, but you can't have people that speak Spanish adopting American children and they can't even understand. Yeah, you can change a diaper or two, but if you only speak Spanish and you adopt them children, those children are going to speak Spanish also. SP, they are considered minorities now. They've been considered minorities. They're still minorities. We're minorities too. Yes. If you have a heart, you have nothing to, if you have a black heart, you have nothing to give. That's what PS says. Thank you, PS. Asian people quit having babies too. I saw that on the news. Yes. So you guys, I want you guys to know everything in court is going accordingly to the way it's supposed to be going. There is some new news. Let me say this before I forget. On the Tyre case, because I want everybody to hear what I got to say on the Tyre case. I'm not giving up that case, you guys. I know some people be like, oh, it's not interesting. It is interesting. It should be very interesting to everybody that's in here. And that is, and I said it once, or I'm going to say it again, Preston Hemphill is on the state side of giving information to what actually happened, and the family is happy about that. I'm not, but I'm not family. So it really don't have anything to do with what I think or whatever. I think that they could, Preston needs to, spend a little time in jail too. I just do, because one incident, or whatever, make the other incident happen. If it not for the first incident, he wouldn't have been in the second incident. So I believe, just me, myself, believe that if you would not have been engaged in the first incident and then put on the air that he ran, you tased him, you hope they stump his tail. And yes, I am mad about that little situation, because you knew what they could do and would do if they caught him. And guess what? They went out to catch him. Because had you not tased him, had you not chased him, had not you put out there to he ran, then guess what? They wouldn't have been looking for nobody. But you had no business stopping him, even though if it was Emmett stopping him, but you was involved in it. And I'm just telling you guys, but the family's like, they're happy, they're, so it's okay. It's their son that had passed away for this. So they make that decision. And that's okay. You see what I'm saying? I'm just letting you guys know I'm not in agreement with it. But had it been my son, I wouldn't let him off. I would have said, go for him too. But that wasn't not my son. Tracy said, I don't think I heard of this case. Tyre Nichols case in Memphis, Tennessee. Look it up. Just Google his name, Tyre. Tyre Nichols with a apostrophe S. 5 officers beat him to death. They came out and said on his case that he had 0.46 alcohol level. That means that consists of 2 beers. Okay? 2 beers is nothing. I don't really believe it's 2 beers, because 2 beers, your alcohol level would have been higher than that. I think it's probably maybe a beer or a shot, 1 shot, to be honest with you. Okay? Because 2 beers will actually get you to the level where you go into jail or you catch a DUI. So I'm going to be honest with you. 0.46 is not 2 beers, to be honest. That's what they said. But 2 beers is not 0.46. I'm just telling you, don't even try it. Okay? Do not even try it, you guys. I'm telling you, 1 beer can drink 1 beer and go home. You drink 2 beer and drive and you take that breathalyzer, you're going to be over the level. Trust me, I know. Not that I'm a drinker or anything. I'm just telling you how, if you've ever worked and you've seen how these lab sheets come back, you hear the doctors talk, you hear what they say. We had a gentleman went to the hospital because he was intoxicated. And so when his labs come back, I talked to the doctor and they say it's alcohol abuse. That's why he couldn't breathe, because he's drunk. He's basically drunk. And so how many beers did he drink or how much alcohol? And they tell you this and tell you that. So I hear stuff like that all the time. But 2 beers is not going to get you 0.46. 2 beers will get you 1 point something, which will be above the level. Trust me. Okay. I don't even like alcohol. I may have a daiquiri or margarita here and there, maybe once a month, and maybe skip 2 months after that. I don't crave them. I don't think about it. I mean, like sometimes just to take off the edge or something, just whatever. But other than that, no. And there's nothing wrong with it. But they said that his autopsy came back. I did download the autopsy. I looked at it on the Tyre's case. They said he died of blunt trauma to the head and bleeding throughout his body. He did not have broken ribs. He did not have broken leg or anything, but instantly he did pass away. They put him on a ventilator. They kept him living, but I'm going to be honest with you. And this is no disrespect to the family, you guys. It's just really not. I'm going to just tell you,
He was already gone. And I said that day one, and I do believe that. You know what I'm saying? And I believe the mother also believed the same thing. I think she said it too. Like when she got there, he was already gone. Now, just because they unplug the vent makes your chest go up and down. It gives you air and stuff. You're not there. It's just making it beat. You know what I'm saying? I had a great niece when I was going to school, and I had my practicals to do. I went to a hospital, St. Joe. It's a Catholic hospital. I've never been there before. I'm not going to tell you the spiritual part of it, but there were spiritual things going on in that hospital. But I was a student, and it was in labor and delivery. So they were giving us the report. And this was my first time being in an actual real report. And they were going over every baby notes in that hospital. And when they got to this baby down at the far end of the nursery where the babies were staying at, they said that baby is no longer here. But the parents is not ready to give them up yet. So they got the ventilator going and everything, and they're breaking it to the family as easy as possible. Did everybody hear me put a 1 in the chat? Because I'm going to tell you something very significant real quick. Very real quick. Everybody heard what I just said. I was in my practical at St. Joe. I was in my first time of receiving the report of the babies that was in the nursery. Everybody know what a practical is? Practical is you go in there and you stand around and you ask questions, and you get to see in real life how real nurses, and this is how, if you want to become a pediatrics. And I really didn't, but I was in this hospital for the first time, being in the labor and delivery. Now I'm in the nursery, and these kids that have problems, I get to hear what's going on. And they told me that the baby at the back end was already deceased, but they were keeping him on ventilators because the family could not let the baby go. Okay, everybody got that. As we went down into, and I looked at the babies, and you got to put on a gown, and you got to wash your hands and all this other stuff. Seen the babies. I didn't touch the babies or nothing of that nature or whatever. So after the shift was over, I was out in the parking lot going to my car, and my nephew pulled up, and he said, Annie. He said, what you doing? I was like, I was here for just my class, my school. You know, we had our practical here. He was like, I want you to see my baby, Annie. She's so beautiful. And I was like, okay. I put my bags back in my car, and I was like, okay, so I'm going up, because I was like, which baby is yours? And which floor is your baby on? Because I knew my nephew had a baby, but I didn't know, nothing. His baby was the baby at the back end that was already deceased, which would have been my great niece. And he showed me the baby, and I was kind of like, so when I walked in, the lady said, what you doing back here? I said, my nephew wants me to see my great niece. She went and got the head nurse and was like, one of the students is back in here talking about her great niece. We went ahead and walked back to the room. And when I seen the baby, I said, oh my. So you guys hear what I said. You never know who you're talking to or what's being said. You don't know. That was my great niece. So I didn't say nothing to my nephew about it. I just walked out, called my mom, and said, Mom, do nephew know that the baby is gone? The baby's dead? She said, what? I said, he's showing me a dead baby. The baby ain't alive. Her whole family is from Hawaii, and she's a princess. So they gather all the money. They put this bucket in the middle of their yard, and they give the money to the family to make sure that the family can come over here and help out with the baby, because my nephew was dating, and the baby was going to be a princess because his mother was a princess. So the family was here to help take care of this baby. They had this whole room and everything, and the baby was already gone, you guys. I'm telling you guys what happened. I told my mom, I said, Mama, the baby is already gone. So tell my brother, this is my brother's child. He was a junior, just like Junior is a junior, because that's what we do in this family. Tell him to just start preparing for this, because the baby's already gone. And my mother was like, no, the baby ain't gone, girl. Maybe he showed you. I said, Mama, I'm telling you what they told me in report. They didn't know I was kin to this child, because the baby don't look nothing like me. The baby is like Hawaiian. It's actually, it's not Hawaiian. It's called, when you're mixed with black in Hawaiian, they call them something else. I can't remember what they call them. They call them, I don't know why I keep trying to say Mohegans, or I don't know, not Mohegan, but they call them something. Samoans. When you're mixed with black and Hawaiian, you're called a Samoan. Okay. Thank you, woke the God, Samoans. So the child was a Samoan. Anyway, the baby, they finally, in about 2 or 3 days, told my mama, told my brother, and told his son, because ain't no need of trying to make it easy while they're collecting money on the dead baby, keeping the baby alive. They said they're keeping the baby alive because the family can't take it. They don't want to believe it. Maybe the mama didn't want to believe it, but when you know the truth prepares you to do the next step. I don't want to be lied to. I don't want to be sitting there having false hope that this child is not deceased. This baby is gone. No brain activity, no nothing. It's just the air going in and going out. So yeah, you have instant movement because the body still responds to certain things, like you move it, then the baby move, but the baby's not moving, basically. You know what I'm saying? The baby not moving. It's just like your hand. If you move your pinky hand, the other fingers move too. Doesn't mean that the other fingers can be broke, but they still gonna move because of the muscle. So if you moving, you holding the baby in the hand, feel like the baby moved or grinched the hand or something. It didn't. That's your thinking. That's your hopeful thinking. The baby was gone. And my nephew will tell you this is a true story. My nephew, you guys ain't seen all my nephews. We got a lot of boys in our family. That's one thing about our family. We got a lot of boys. I think there's when I was born, I was the only girl. My daughter, she's the only girl. Then my son, he only have a boy. My daughter, she only has a boy. Boys run in our family. We don't have too many girls. Anyway, you guys, I had 2 priests come and pray. My husband never moved. I kept asking him to move. Sometimes it's just hard. But the mother already of Tyre Nichols said that she knew that her son was already gone. See, sometimes they still get money by keeping them on there and insurance and all that other stuff. And, and things of that nature, you guys. I don't like to say too much negative about, because sometimes there is people that go into a coma state and they can be brought back in time and they may wake up, but they have so many difficulties, maybe. And sometimes some of them don't, but they can sometimes wake up and go through life and just be rehabilitated back into being, self-efficient, of getting around, thinking, and all this other stuff. But my brother had the aneurysm. They put him on a ventilator. I was angry with my mother for a long time because she had the decision. And it was only her decision, but I wasn't in agreement with it at the time. I couldn't back then let my brother go. But my mother, she said, yeah. Even when I got done with school, I still looked at my mom like, you could have let him stay around for another year, because now people are waking up being in comas for a whole year, 2 years, 3 years. They're waking up. But that was my mother's decision. And I wasn't angry with her, but I was angry about the decision. But it's her child. She can do what she wants. She believed whatever she believed, But anyway, they said that's what he died from. So if you hear anything else, it'd be a bald-faced lie. He died from, but we already knew blunt trauma to the head. Soldier Girl says, I heard people being in comas 15 years and waking up. Yes. Mary says, yes, the doctor said I was in denial, and I said when his time comes, his heart will give up, and it did too. Yes. Hospice will not keep you on ventilators. They are all about DNR. Exactly. We just put a couple of people on DNR, and this girl do not look like she's dying, but she quit. She stopped going to dialysis. And if you quit going to dialysis, we got to just send you to the hospital. We just can't just say, okay, come on, hospice, let's just let you just die. No, because sometimes when your blood sugar or whatever you're going through and you're not in your right frame of mind, you cannot make good decisions. You're not going to dialysis probably because you're not in your right frame of mind. So I believe that we need to, you may be a DNR, but we're just not going to just let you die because you cannot make right decisions. We've got to get you back to making the right decisions, because that's like killing people. Zena says, my sister was in a coma for 8 years and she didn't wake up. Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you, Lisa Taylor. Thank you, Purple D. And Purple D saying thank you and you're welcome. It's a lot of stuff that goes on, but back on to the California City Boys, because that's what we're talking about. But I wanted you guys to hear that, because that's what's going on. And that happened on May the 2nd. So had I went out of town, we could have got that information right from the horse's mouth when we got there, because the father does not have a problem speaking to me, and I'm not bugging him and calling him all the time and all that other stuff. I'm not going to do that. I feel so sorry for the mother, though. And now going over this California City case, I do feel sorry for Ryan. And I feel sorry for their family. And that's all I can do. I hate that they're going through all they're going through. And we cannot go back and change time. But yeah, we can now learn from it and say, hey, think about it. If you got family members that's off in the system, then, hey, y'all need to do something. Go get your family member. Because think about it. Other people are not going to treat your people like their own people. They can say what they want to say. I don't believe it. I told you guys this a couple of years ago. People say, I will love that child like it was my own. And that's the difference. Like my own. You're not going to love my child as your own child. You're going to love it like. And like is nothing like love. Like and love is a whole different ballgame. You're talking about peaches and apples. You cannot love my child more than me. You cannot do it. There's no way. When you have a kid, you're going to love that child because that's your blood. What you ate, that child ate. You're going to have a bond with the child carrying the child. You cannot have a bond with a child that you did not carry. So yes, I'm not saying that you can't love that child, but if you have a child already, it is hard to love that child as your own child. You can give that child love. You can hold the child. They wasn't even doing that. They wasn't loving on the kids chewing with their mouth open. They like, shut your mouth. That's what the kids said. That happened. They did that. And they told the other kids to tell them to shut their mouths, grab their mouths, just like a dog muffle, and make it shut their mouth. And since they wouldn't do that, that's why mama went ahead and grinded up their food. I believe there was probably more to it. She probably put some Benadryl or some whatever that stuff. What is it called? Melatonin. She probably put so much in it. He not only ate his food by drinking out the bottle, he drank the baby's food too. That's why she was like, ugh. And then the baby probably died. It's crazy. And people used to do that. Thank you, Amari, for the 3D heart. I see you in the building, Miss Amari Baxter. He would tell them to stop crying or beat it or keep beating them. Yeah, that's what they said. He would keep beating them. You know, how about the little boy said he could not remember anything wonderful about Jacqueline? That was a big red flag for me. Exactly. And I don't know what they showed, but they told the jurors to go to lunch, but come back in an hour and a half. But they told that they would not stream for an hour and 45 minutes. So they were going to show them something that we could not see. And I think it was very detrimental. Whatever it was, they was not going to show the public. It did not have nothing to do with a sidebar or anything. They were going to show the juror. They were going to listen to a video. That's what they said. But we could not see it, you guys. It was that terrible. Whatever was said, they was not going to let us see it or hear it. And I guarantee you, whatever it was, I guarantee you, it was a nail in the coffin. Because why would you not want the public to know what this boy said? It had to be more graphic, what he had said. But they had already came up to the decision that they was not going to let us hear it. Yeah, that's what they said about Trezell. The only good thing about him is him making bread. You know, I can call my kids right now and say, son, tell me what's the best thing in your life. What was the best day of your life? He'll probably say his son being born now. But I'm saying staying with me or being your mother. What's the best thing about me being your mom? My kids would probably say our birthday party or mom, you the best mom ever. Matter of fact, I'm gonna call my son up real quick. I'm just gonna do it. I ain't even gonna tell him we live right now. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. Let me find his number. And we're going to get off of here, you guys. And I'm going to tell you guys need to probably do it too. You probably need to call your child up and say, son, can you tell me anything good about me? And he'd be like, mama, please, you this, you that. Where's my son's number at? Oh, my God. Because I don't know his number by heart. Okay, here we go. If he try to say something that he ain't supposed to say, then I'm going to have to tell him we lied.
Hello?
Hey.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Picking up Junior.
Oh, you picking up Junior? Oh, okay. You good. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, what's up?
Just real simple. Could you think of anything good about me?
I can think of plenty of good things about you.
Like what?
Like, what kind of question is that?
I just want to know.
You helpful, you kind, you very giving.
What?
Huh?
I'm what?
I said you're helpful, you're kind, you're very giving. I mean, I can name multiple things. Why are you asking?
Okay, I'm just asking. Being a parent, thinking, did you have any good times in your childhood life? Me raising you?
Yeah, I had plenty.
Like what?
I enjoyed going out of town as many times as we did, and all the birthday parties and cars and all kinds of stuff.
What about your birthday party?
Which one?
Whichever one you want.
Well, I said birthday parties.
Well, tell me about your birthday party. What was so good about it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's no, I mean, you're trying to be specific, but I had fun at all of them.
Well, what did you do?
The limo rides and the Hyatt parties, and I don't, I feel like I got to be careful what I say.
Okay, so was it $100 parties or was it $1,000 parties?
$1,000 party.
Okay, and you was happy. You happy?
Is that what you're trying to get at, me being spoiled?
I no, not just you being spoiled, but did I treat all my kids like this or just you?
All of us.
Okay. When was your first limo ride?
Now, see, that wasn't for my birthday. That was, I believe, Shenette's birthday.
Oh, that's Shenette's birthday. Okay, so when was your first birthday limo ride?
Over there at Holy Savior with my friends.
Holy Savior. What's Holy Savior?
My school.
What school is it?
It's a Catholic school.
Is it public or private?
Private.
Did we pay or did we get commission because we're Catholic?
You had to pay.
Had to pay because guess what? We're not Catholic, right?
Sure ain't.
Okay. All right.
Where's all this coming from?
Well, we're live right now. So I was just telling people that you kind of got to put into your children so that they can put into their children. You got to give them moments that they can remember. You know?
That's true.
And so that they can be good fathers to their children. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you don't treat your child right or somebody else's child right, then you just actually hurt that child and the whole system. And you just don't give up on your kids.
That's correct. You don't do that.
Okay. So, I know Pooh Bear is with you. I was working on a video, so I'll get that video done. I'll call you later.
All right.
Bye. Okay, so you guys, so now that you know what I've told you, everything I've told you was the truth. I told you my kids went to private school. If they didn't go to private school, I taught them at home. And everything I've gave one child, I gave the other kid. I can't go buy you a bike and not buy you a bike and not buy you a bike. Everybody got to get a bike. If I bought you a car, I got to buy you a car and buy you a car. I can't buy one car and say, nobody else gets a car. Nobody else gets a birthday party. Nobody gets, you have to give your children things to remember. Things to remember. Not just material things. Like you said, you're loving, you're kind, you're very helpful. I sit down and we build bikes together. We build mopeds together. Try to fix go-karts together. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm actually trying to get my porch fixed. The guy charged me so much. I told him, get out of here. I'll do it myself. I'm not finna give you no $800 to put down 10, 20 bricks. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go get me some quick mix, some bricks, and I'm going to do it myself. And you know what? I don't care what it looks like. But this is what you got to do with your children. They will learn how to put bricks together. My son wrecked the car, ran into the house, and guess what? I didn't go beat him. I went and bought some bricks, some quick mix, cement, and we put it back together. He was like, oh, Mom, I'm so sorry. You know, not everything you need to give a whooping. They were beating these kids, not with just the belt, but the buckle of the belt. That's what you're supposed to hold. You're not whooping the kid to hurt the kid. You're whooping the kid to make him understand. And that's why they came out with, you know, kids can now call 911. Because people like Jacqueline and Trezell, like them, they get somebody else's kids and they want to just beat them to their blood. Because the lady asked him, she says, did you have any marks or bruises? He was like, nope, we had blood. Past the marks and bruises, because you know black children, especially dark black children, do not make marks on them. They will get darker. It would be like a more purple. You know what I'm saying? Now, did I get called the police on whooping my kids? Yes, I did. My son will tell you, he called the police. They come over here. They was like, well, we need to see your kid's butt because he called, said he got whooped. Yes, he did. And when you leave, he's going to get another one. Because he's going to learn not to do that no more. Because if I don't whoop him, you're going to kill him. Because if he don't listen to me, he's not going to listen to you. We're building kings and queens over here. Whether you believe it or not, it's true. It's true. And you have to install that in your children. No matter what color they are. They're princesses. They're diamonds. God did not make junk, whether the kid is in the system or not. So the way that they treated these kids, it is freaking unbelievable that they were even given 4 kids all at one time. Tina Power said, those are my kind of parties, not $100 parties, $1,000 parties. Yeah, girl, I'll file bankruptcy in a minute. Make sure my kids have a good childhood life. And we'll do it again. Because money is just a tool, you guys. You got to remember that money's just a tool, okay? So use it so that your kids can treat their kids in a good environment too. Because what you put out in your kid, you invest in your kids, they're going to invest in their kids. They're going to know, you know, mama said, okay, we broke, but we got some oatmeal in there. So guess what? We can still eat. Mama said, okay, we can go to the church and get food. We done went to the church before more than one time. Get some food, get some canned goods. So take that chip off your shoulder, because you got to have a name brand this, name brand that. It ain't all about that. It's about them kids having, you know, I wouldn't bring a man in my kids' life, house, or anything, because I don't know what they're going to do. You know, I don't know. I don't trust nobody with my children. I don't trust nobody with my grandson. Anyway, you guys, I don't understand how Jacqueline and Trezell got these kids. I don't understand it. For them to sit there and say, well, we go and check on them. Honey, they shouldn't have had these kids in the first place. You shouldn't have been checking nothing. Nobody had a job. What was the kids going to eat? Oh, we'll give them a check. Y'all was wrong for giving these people them kids. If I've got to have a upstanding out one of the best jobs in the country to adopt a kid that is biologically my niece, why in the world would you give some strangers some children, not one, not two, not three, but 4 kids, no job, ain't, talking about some beats. Oh, he sell maybe $100 for a beat here and a beat there. You gave him the kids and gave him the money. $4,000 a month. And that's good. That's some good money for people that's broke. That's good money. I would love to have $4,000 a month just for kids. I would sit my butt at home. Think about it. I don't have to work a job, go clocking in, making sure my car running, paying insurance tags, license insurance and all this, go to work, boss talking to me crazy. I'll just go get me 4 kids and sit at home. But look at Trezell. Won't work. Now, you can go work a job and not even make money, but do something. Keep going for your dream. Some people be sitting back talking about, oh, well, I'm only making minimum wage. Or you know what? I'd rather you make minimum wage or you just go out there every day. Don't look at me. I don't need you to change your diaper. I could do that. Go cut a yard or something. Keep working on your dream. Anyway, you guys, when the last time they were on, I was literally, and I know some of you guys were doing the same thing. Oh my goodness, we got a core fan in the house, and it's Lisa Calhoun. I'm going to get off of here, but Lisa Calhoun became a core fan. There's a core in the house. I'm going to get off here. It's 1 hour, 17 minutes. I am going to take me a nice shower because I'm hot. I'm sweaty. I'm a little bit frustrated. In your just opinion, Trezell and Jackie and the West family should not ever be allowed to have those babies. I know. But guess what? It don't work that way. Wanda's going to get those 2 kids. That's biologically Jackie and Trezell's kids. You watch and see. That's why she's saying what she's saying. She's like, now I know what I'm here for. She gave y'all the information at the beginning. She said, you got it right, but you got it wrong. She made it seem like, you know what I'm saying? So she knew. I would love to have $1,000 a month. That's insane. $4,000 though. Do they get paid for adopting? Yes. You get a subsidized check for adopting. And on top of that, when you write off for the year, anytime you do adoption, you get like $3,000-$4,000 off your taxes too, that you get back. You know what I'm saying? That's the only benefit you get. Well, that's the only benefit I got. Every state is different. You guys got to remember that. I didn't get no subsidized with my child because she was family. In the state of Kansas, if they family, you do not get a check unless they have a disability. And I believe that the young lady that I did raise did have a disability, but I did not want her to be labeled. So we worked out her disability and she's doing just fine. Because sometimes if you tell a kid that they disabled enough and give them meds and stuff like that, then they won't grow from it. You know what I'm saying? They'll maneuver around it and want to keep that check for the rest of their life. And then, because I had a young man that actually where the dog came from, his father, you guys remember that? I let him stay with me. He was disabled. He was getting a check. I did not take not one penny of his check. And I will call him and let you guys hear him say, no, mama, you let me stay there for free as long as I go to school and I save my check. so I can go get me an apartment. Because he was in his 12th year or 11th year. And I said, why would they kick this boy out? He's a good student. But he was on disability and he had Social Security because his dad was dead too. So he got a nice size check. I didn't take none of his money. As long as you go to school, I come home one day, he riding up and down the street. It was school time. So I let him do it for a while. But then sooner or later, I told him, you got enough money together. You don't want to listen to me. My kids was watching you run up and down the street. Sooner or later, they're going to want to do it too. So you got to go. He said, yes, ma'am. And guess what? He's still my son today. That's why his dad gave us this dog, Diesel, for the amount that he gave him. Because I let the boy grow into a young man. And you know what he did? He come back to me because he was like, I'm so happy when he got ready to move out. He said, I'm so happy I'm moving out your house. Now I ain't got to go to school. I said, okay, you're going to wish you still continue to do that. Because I wouldn't have told you to do something that would hurt you. Then you know what? He came back to me and he said, Mama, my son was getting jobs left and right. He was like, they don't want to hire me because I ain't got a high school diploma. I said, I tried to tell you. He said, I went and got my GED, but they say it's not the same. I said, yeah, it's supposed to be equal, but it's not. They know that you couldn't handle the rules and regulations of a real school, and they do look at that. So, I knew some people that knew some people, and I know how to get things done when it comes to kids. So, yeah, we did get him his diploma. I'm just being honest with you guys. I told him to test out from a different state, and that's what he did. Because I talk to people that's in certain positions so that we're going to help these kids to grow up so that they will not be a menace to society. And that's what I did. And right now, he's got 2 or 3 kids of his own. I think he's got two boys. And he is a very good, loving dad. And he takes care of his kids just like my son take care of his kid. And when they have little parties, I see them kids. I be like, them your kids? He be like, yeah, Mama, they're my kids. Now, he's mixed black and white. So his kids is mixed with black and white. I mean, mixed twice. So they got stringy blonde hair and blue eyes, but they got a little complexion on their skin, but they're just cute. They're just beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, come in, give your grandma a hug. And he'd be looking at me like, who is she? He said, that's your grandma. Go give her a hug. I'd just be laughing. He'd be like, they'd be like, we don't know her. We ain't seen her. But you've met me a couple of times now. They don't get to see me that much. But I'm still close to the boys that I have actually raised. Anyway, you guys, I want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you, Lisa Taylor, for the super chat over there. Coring up. You're the first core. There's a core. All right, you guys, I got to get off of here. I'll see you guys Monday. We're only going to come on for 30 minutes. So make sure you're going to have your face in the place at 30. We're going to give you the updates. They're going to go to lunch at our time, their time, 1:30 or 1 o'clock or whatever, which is our time, 3 o'clock. So we're going to come on in 30 minutes and we're going to go down. I am going to write the notes down. And Purple D done leveled up. Congratulations, Purple D. All right, you guys. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.